Charlton Heston prepares to face a test of strength against incredible odds when he stars as Ben-Hur tonight at 9 on TNT Classic Movies.
In business, time is money. And in a global economy, money can be made and lost around the clock. That's why CNN International covers business and financial markets 24 hours a day. Beginning with Moneyline with Lou Dobbs, an in-depth look at the day in business and a wrap-up of world financial markets. Plus, high-profile interviews with the world's business and government leaders. Moneyline, the first word in business every business day. Business Asia with Stuart Varney is a comprehensive wrap-up of the day's events from Asia. For interviews and extensive coverage of the Asian economy, turn to Business Asia. For in-depth coverage of European and Asian markets, there's World Business Today with Cecil McCarthy. For analysis and insight into business news that's making tomorrow's headlines, turn to World Business Today. For the most comprehensive coverage of international business, stay with CNN International.
Winner of 11 Academy Awards.
We may conquer the land, we may slaughter the people. It is not the end. We will rise again.
One man's struggle against the might of the Roman Empire.
May God grant me vengeance. I will pray that you live till I return.
Charlton Heston has a date with destiny.
It's between us now.
Yes, this is the day.
Continuing the unmissables, Ben-Hur, Wednesday at 9 on TNT Classic Movies. In a battle of wills between captain and crew, one man would lose his ship.
The ship is ours, sir.
Will you step into the boat or will you be thrown in?
I'm not leaving you, Mr. Christian. Not ever.
And one man
Take your flag with you.
would lose his nation.
I don't need a flag. Unlike you, I still have a country.
TNT continues the unmissables with Mutiny on the Bounty. Thursday at 9 on TNT Classic Movies.
There aren't many towns like Black Rock.
Oh, I'll only be here 24 hours.
One is enough.
In a place like this, it could be a lifetime.
Something bad happened here.
You all the time guessing, ain't you, boy?
Now something terrible is going to happen again.
Why don't you tell me what happened?
Continuing the unmissables as Spencer Tracy stars in Bad Day at Black Rock. Sunday at 9 on TNT Classic Movies.
I'm singing in the rain.
Well, we're all right as long as the water supply holds out.
Just singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling. I'm happy again.
Let there be dancing in the streets, drinking in the saloon, they're necking in the parlor.
The Unmissables conclude with Singing in the Rain, followed by A Night at the Opera, next Tuesday from 9 on TNT Classic Movies.
Of all the senses, the sense of sight, the sense of hearing, the sense of smell, the sense of taste, the sense of touch. Of all the senses, the most important may be the sense of style without the clinch on CNN International.
Remember me?
I'm afraid I...
There's no mistaking the power of Bogart. A power that captivates, a power that lasts.
I'm a private detective.
Bogart the man has become Bogart the legend.
You wanted to see me?
Humphrey Bogart, the Bogeyman.
Hello.
An unprecedented movie season featuring Hollywood's most enduring icon.
Remember me now?
Starting with The Big Sleep, Wednesday the 1st of October on TNT Classic Movies.
Picturesquely situated on the Pacific coast of Mexico lies the colorful little seaport of Mazatlan, owing its importance chiefly to the fact that it is a gateway to Mexico and a convenient harbor for ships flying between California, South America, and New York. Aside from its modern status, Mazatlan intrigues our imagination with thoughts of the countless tides that have caressed its shores and the thousands of ships that have come and gone, since the first Spanish galleon weighed anchor in its harbor and landed a colorful cargo of buccaneers in quest of adventure and gold. That was many centuries ago, but within a short distance of modern Mazatlan, there is a tiny fishing village that has changed but little since the day that the first white man set foot on the shores of Mexico. Here the native fishermen enjoy a peaceful existence as Mother Nature provides all that they seem to require for their happiness and well-being. The coconut palm, which grows in picturesque profusion in the vicinity of Mazatlan, is the most benevolent tree in the life of man, for it gives beauty, shade, food, and drink without care or attention from him who receives them. As a matter of fact, if it were not for the coconut palm, it is doubtful that human life would be possible among the poorer natives in tropical countries. It is an odd fact that in the first written records of the Spanish explorers who visited Mazatlan, reference is made to the giant turtles that inhabit the streams and the land and provide food for hungry men. We wonder if this old fellow remembers something of the color and romance that the Spanish buccaneers brought to Mazatlan to be perpetuated in the hearts of their descendants, who still include music and dancing among the necessities of life. Following in the path of the Spanish buccaneers, we come to the native village of Toluca, where we are afforded an opportunity of seeing something of the rural life of Mexico on a typical market day. Many of the native people in this marketplace are descended from the former subjects of the great Indian kings who ruled Mexico before the Spanish conquest. Long and trying centuries have passed over them, but apparently the innovations of time have been exceedingly slow in bringing about any fundamental changes in the manners and customs which they inherited from their ancestors. Styles of dress may have changed, commodities may be weighed on modern scales, and modern money may be the medium of exchange. But the heart of the full-blooded Mexican Indian, silently defying the inroads of the white man, still beats in the past and glories in tales of the days when the great King Montezuma guided the destinies of Mexico. Of all the arts that were in vogue when the conquest of Mexico began, none was more general or better developed than that of pottery. And even today, the Mexican Indian plies this trade with all the traditional skill of his ancestors. In fact, the fame of Mexican pottery has created an international market, and not a little of Mexico's annual revenue comes from this source of trade. No garment or article of dress worn in rural Mexico is more important than that which is called the serape, a mere blanket with a hole in the center through which the wearer's head is protruded. Simple to be sure, but it is the Mexican Indian's overcoat by day and his blanket by night. Rural Mexico is noted for the picturesque little towns that dot its landscape, like time-honored hamlets of the old world. And among the most celebrated of these is the quaint little town of Tasco, a miniature of Spain itself. Aside from being a source of inspiration for modern artists, Tasco has a very interesting history, which takes us back to the days of the Spanish grandees, who made tremendous fortunes from silver mines in this district. As an example of their great wealth, it is said that one of them paved the street leading from his home to the church with silver bars for his daughter's wedding. From the proceeds of his silver mines in Tasco, another wealthy miner built this cathedral, which has been standing for over 200 years as a tribute to his memory. Generally speaking, in Tasco, the religion, architecture, color, and romance of old Castile have left their indelible impressions and bestowed upon Mexico a contribution that adds greatly to the picturesqueness of her countryside, as well as to the artistic traditions of her people. fortunate is the Mexican village that has a plentiful supply of water, for scarcity of water is one of rural Mexico's greatest problems, and this may account for the importance of the pulque industry, which has its source in the desert-growing maguey plant. Normally, the maguey would flower into a stalk from 12 to 20 feet high, but it is purposely stunted in order to make it more productive. A normal plant has been known to give as many as 50 gallons of its liquid over a period of 6 months. If pulque is drunk in its natural state, fresh from the plant, it is regarded as a wholesome beverage, but after it is fermented and allowed to stand, it becomes one of the world's most abominable drinks. The better-class Mexicans regard fermented pulque and its attending evils as a curse to their country. An organized effort is now enforced to curtail, if not to destroy, the pulque industry. The pyramids of Mexico are without question the most noteworthy of all the relics that remain in tribute to the ancient Toltec Indians, who are credited with having built them centuries before the coming of the white man. This one is called the Pyramid of the Moon, and it has yet to be uncovered and explored. But a few hundred yards away may be seen the Pyramid of the Sun, which, after having had its topsoil removed, reveals a perfectly preserved pyramid, one of the wonders of the Western world. Unlike the Egyptians, who built their pyramids as tombs for their kings, the Toltecs built them as altars of worship to perpetuate the memory of their gods and to fill the hearts of the people with an awe-inspiring sense of power and permanence. Even today, the pyramids of Mexico are as awe-inspiring as they were in the days when devout Indian worshipers preyed upon their terraces, never dreaming that a time would come when their gods would fall before the onslaught of another race, and their altars of worship would be no more than an epitaph to their memory. And it is with this thought that we say farewell to Mexico.